Hi everyone, welcome to another TOS video. In this video, I will be reviewing Illumi and suggest potential situations in which you can use him. Before we start, it's nice to note that as a Hunter x Hunter collaboration card, he already has an amelioration which increases human attack and recovery by 15%. This is actually a higher percentage than most other ameliorations, which are around 10% like Enchantresses, Wensong, VR Greeks. The only thing is that this will be limited to humans, so he will give you a greater boost in a mono-human team. His leader skill is actually really not useful, so let's analyze his potential as a member. His active skill, for 2 rounds, inactivates all enemies. When the effect is in play, 10% of each of enemy's current HP will be deducted at the end of each round. So in my opinion, delaying enemies is a very useful skill. If you watch my other videos, you'll see that my go-to craft is the 9 seal craft that delays enemies for 2 turns. This gives you time to prepare your board, take 2 extra turns to kill the enemy if they have tanky HP, you can break certain shields, etc. By using Illumi, you can save one of your compulsions and use the compulsion attack boost and burst at a later time if you need it. I would say that his second effect is not that really useful, but isn't completely useless. If you notice, it's 10% of current HP, so you'll eventually get diminishing returns as the enemy's HP as it goes down, 10% will also be lower. So, however, it's still free damage, so I welcome free damage anytime. In general, I think this second effect is more suited for enemies that you have to grind down, like Tumbler Shield enemies. I'm thinking more like the 5% Tumbler Shield from the Peely Puppet Extra, or mobs with high defense that you have to actually grind down. It can help you reduce the number of turns taken to grind them down. And one other thing that comes to mind are those enemies that survive if their HP is greater than X%. If this skill is able to deduct that enemy's HP after it survives with 1 HP, then Illumi could be a potentially very useful utility card to kill these enemies and avoid them from reviving with 3 times attack and defense. However, we still need to test that. I'm not sure if it will actually work that way or not, but we'll see. The advantages of this card is that unlike other crowd control cards, his CD is at CD9 instead of the usual CD10. Sometimes it's hard to stall for CD, so 1 extra turn reduction can potentially help a lot. However, in most situations, if we can stall for CD, there's usually not a problem installing 1 extra turn. So it's subjective. And although dark teams have a lot of utility cards, if you're playing mono dark, Illumi can be overshadowed by other utility cards. However, Illumi is one of the few human crowd control members, and this skill could come really useful for some mono-human teams. One of the disadvantages is that, like every other crowd control card out there, you can fire off his skill if the enemy has the uncontrollable skill. But that's a common problem for crowd control members, so you just have to deal with it. However, the greatest rival for Illumi would be Sandman. He's also a dark crowd control card. However, he can bypass the previous disadvantage because his skill reduces damage by 95%. However, if you encounter an enemy with phantom attack that ignores defense reduction or damage reduction, then Illumi would be a better card and more suitable for that stage. In terms of teams, I can see Illumi being used in any dark, although I see more use as a rainbow human team or mono dark human team that would require a crowd control card. I think he would benefit Yesu Ye Xiaocai team most, because he's dark human and can give you crowd control for 2 turns. This can help you fire off Ye Xiaocai after a neutral age reset, or use another Yesu burst more often. Other teams could be VR Greeks, Xiahou Lü Bu, etc. But I do foresee that this card will be very situational. Overall, I think this card is not bad, but it's definitely more situational depending on the stages and enemy skills that we encounter. Here I'm going to test Ieyasu Yexiaocai team using Illumi as a member with this week's bi-weekly card, Shia Puff Elite Stage. So here, first few rounds are just the usual mini mobs. Take them out. So here, just remember to do full attacks. Fortunately, I didn't get 5 combos because of the time reduction. Yeah. Okay, lucky. Here I'm going to activate Ieyasu Burst. Oh, even though that's pretty bad. I actually should take spinning more seriously, even though it's just a bi-weekly stage. Okay, next. Just spin normally. Full attack, although I don't actually have enough runes for a full attack. So, yeah. Okay, next we have weather runes, which are actually in quite annoying positions in this case. Oops. I think he's dead, or she's dead. Next we have the boss with CD reset for light members. So here we don't have that many attacking runes. So, and we have 2 weather runes. So here I'm actually going to activate Illumi. This is going to allow me to dissolve light runes and trigger the light Trojan skill, but he won't be able to attack me because he's delayed. So now I can just go ahead and spin and take him out. I could have also activated Compulsion. Usually when I delay my enemies using a Compulsion skill, all those attack bonuses that come with Compulsion get wasted, because usually when I do crowd control Compulsion, it will probably be a shield that I can't break in that turn. That means that the attack bonus from the Compulsion score won't matter at all. However, if we delay enemies using Illumi, we can actually activate Compulsion on top of that and have the attack bonus applied to the attack that we launch. Yeah, Um, and I think Illumi is a good member, and depending on the stage, he could be very useful. I hope this video was informative and helpful. Stay tuned for more TOS videos on my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.